What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about how to make seamless carousels on Instagram so that you can level up your content, which is going to help you with hashtags, explore. Literally everything comes down to leveling up your content, and seamless carousels are really getting popular on Instagram. So today of Instagram Marketing Secrets episode 89, we are talking about the 3 types of carousels that you need to start incorporating into your business right away. All right, now before we get into the actual how to make seamless carousels and the 3 types that we're gonna do, I'm gonna talk about why it's important because, like I mentioned earlier, it helps you with hashtags, it helps you with explore page, it helps with everything. Just leveling up your content is always going to help with everything. But the main thing it really helps out with is your follower conversion ratio. And your follower conversion ratio is when people come over to your page and they follow you. So to find out what your follower conversion ratio is, you take the profile visits number for a week and then you divide it by the amount of followers that you got in that week. Or flip that around. Followers on top divided by total amount of profile visits. And if it's over 10%, you're doing awesome. If more than 10% of people who visit your profile are then following you, you're typically doing pretty well, but I've calculated up to 35% on some weeks, on my best performing weeks too, so the sky's the limit, and I'm sure some people can even beat those numbers too, but if you got over 10%, you're good. Now, why does it help your follower conversion ratio? The reason why is because the main way to get followers is when they come to your page, they see a consistent track record of content, and and high performing content, that is. So if they can see that you're putting in this extra work and making these seamless carousels that not a lot of people are making right now, rather than just like the single post infographic where it just says, whatever, it's just like a quote on one page. You can't really pack a lot of value on just one post, but you can pack a lot of value over multiple posts. And when you can pack more value in your content, you're just gonna have better content and you're gonna have a higher follower conversion ratio. So originally, if you haven't heard the interview with Rachel King, that is episode 88. And for those of you watching on YouTube, it's not an episode on YouTube, it's just a podcast episode of Instagram Marketing Secrets. So yeah, again, it's 87. Highly recommend you listen to that episode. We go into more details on how to make it and everything. But Rachel King is the one that got me really hooked on doing seamless carousels. And she was saying a stat on that podcast episode, something like she had about 400 or 500 followers after like a year or two of posting. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact stat, but it was something crazy like this. Hundreds of posts to get 400 followers, and then she switched to seamless carousels, and her next 50 posts gained her about 2,500 followers, something around that range. Don't quote me on the numbers, but it's just a big gap. As soon as she switched the type of post she was doing, she was only having to do 50 posts to get way more results than her previous few hundreds of posts had gotten her. So the higher level of content you're doing, the further it's going to trend and the better it's going to help you convert followers. So that's just basically why you would want to get hooked on seamless carousels, and it really can be for any industry, and that is what we are going to talk about right now. So the first type of seamless carousel that I'm going to teach you how to make is you just take a panoramic photo and then you split it up. So if you're an influencer or a personal brand, this is probably the one you're going to do the most of. So you set your phone to panoramic mode, and then you just take the picture, right? You scroll across, maybe you get like a beautiful landscape, probably nature is probably going to be included in this, or it's easier to take a natural landscape because you probably don't have 80 people lined up that you're trying to take a picture of. But if you got a family photograph that you want to take a huge panorama of, then more power to you. It really can be anything. And then what you do is you use an app that splits it into multiple sections. So the one that Rachel and I use is just called Panorama Splitter. It's $1.99 per month. There's probably some ones that you can get for free or at least free trials. That one just works really efficiently, and $2 a month is really nothing. You don't really notice it. So the other way would be that you manually go in and split the image. But here's the thing. So for those of you who haven't listened to the episode yet, I'll give you a little insight as to how we actually make these, because when you're making the seamless carousel, you don't do post and then create another post and then create another post and create another post and try to line up the images so they match. You just make one long post where the width of your image is going to be 4 times the length of the height. Or if you're going to do a 10 carousel slide, which is the max that you can do, then your width of your image would be 10 times the size of your height, so that you just have one big rectangle of an image, and then you're going to split it up into individual parts and then post it on Instagram like that, and it's going to blend seamlessly when people scroll across. So for an influencer, if you're taking a picture of outside, maybe you're like in it, right? Maybe you're in like slide 3 or something. They see slide 1 and it's like a beautiful, like you're in Italy before Corona or after coronavirus, that is. And you start off and it's got the Colosseum, and they scroll over and they just keep seeing more scenery, and then you're in one of them. That could be a way that you could do it. Or you can even put some text in there if you want to add a little bit of extra value, provide some kind of quote, provide something that you think your audience would love to hear, and then you can have the text be split up amongst all of the different images too. So you just want to make sure that each individual slide looks good in itself. So if you are going to have text, you don't want to have the text like halfway cut off, or you probably don't, you just use your best judgment when it comes down to it. But just make sure that you've got a good visual layout of how it's going to look when you post it, when you're creating it. And the way that Rachel talks about in the episode of an easy way to do it is if you have, let's say you're doing a 4-slide carousel, and just for the sake of making math easy, or actually I remember what the math is, you want to do, if it's a 4-slide carousel, it would be 4320 pixels width and 1080 pixels in height. That would be a 4-slide carousel. Then what you can do is you can take 4 square images and put it into your post, separating each one, and then just move that image to the back, and then you're gonna later delete those squares, but just so you can see exactly where the cutoff between each one is gonna be. That's gonna make it easier to design it, so then you can see, okay, this is gonna be slide 1, that's slide 2, and sometimes it's cool to have parts of your image or things that are cool be right in the center. Like I've seen some influencers just do a 2-slide seamless carousel where it's a selfie of them in the center, so half of the image shows half of their face, and then when you start to scroll over, it shows all of their face, and then when you scroll over to the next post, then it shows the other side of their face. And that's just another really simple way to do it, but because it's something that a lot of people haven't seen before, you're just gonna grab attention that much easier. They're gonna be like, ooh, this is cool. This is content I haven't seen before, and that's what they're looking for when they're choosing who to follow next. They're looking for who's gonna provide them with content that they're not getting elsewhere. So that's why this can be really big for you. All right, let's go into the second type of carousel post you're gonna do. And now, guys, the third one is the one you're gonna do the most of, and I'm saving it for last because we're gonna spend the most time on that. But the second one is an offer. You can literally sell products or services through these carousels. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna show you an example of one that I did when I was promoting my Instagram content challenge. If you'd like to just go over to my @IGM Secrets page and see this, it's probably like 20 or 30 posts ago at this time, but you can scroll down and find it if you're determined to. And right on the front, it just says 7-day Instagram content challenge. And when you scroll through, it shows the features and the benefits of why someone would want to do it, who's it for, all the details that they would need to know. It has the cost and how to sign up, and a call to action on that last slide too. And that's going to be important with the second and third type of post we're doing. You always want that last slide to be some sort of call to action. And that's, again, another way that these posts can really help build your business in a way that single image posts can't, because you can't usually fit value and a captivating hook that gets people to stop the scroll, and a call to action all on one slide without it just being way too much text, or like you're using way too small text for people to read at that point. So real quick, I will say that that first slide in any of these carousels is going to be the most important, because if they don't like that first image, they're not even going to scroll through to the other one. So whenever I'm doing this type of post, or the third one we're about to talk about, that first slide that's going to have text on it, I'm going to have it be text that really tries to identify with exactly what people want to learn or want to know, or something that really sparks intrigue to make them want to swipe through to the other ones. And then with the first type of post that we talked about, the panorama, make sure, like, I know that if you're taking a panorama of mountain ranges, you're probably gonna start that panorama at the plane, right? Oops, hit the mic. You're gonna start at the plane, like on the far left, and then you're gonna get the mountain. So that first image might be boring, which is not okay. So make sure that your panorama starts wherever it is still a cool image, because you want people that, even if they don't slide through, to still have a chance to gain their like on the post just from that first slide, all right? So going back to the type number 2. So we're selling offers like this. We're gonna build all the value. We're gonna give them, the additional info in the caption, and we're gonna have all sorts of call to action. You can do this for products, services, a short time sale, so many different things that you can promote this way. Number 3, let's talk about that. So this is the most common one, because it's just an infographic essentially, but it's a seamless carousel infographic. And the reason why this is so awesome is because you can really communicate an entire point, and you really can't communicate an entire educational tip sometimes on just one image. That's why a lot of times the posts that really take off that are single post infographics are just like, you can do it. Like, they're super simple, right? Because that's all you can fit on there without it having too much text for the mind to be like, it's too much, I can't comprehend it. So let's say that we're doing, like, if you're watching on YouTube, again, I'm going to show you some examples right now. So one of my more popular examples recently I did was, I'll talk about the one that I did promoting the episode with Rachel King. So right on the front, I don't have my phone because it's recording. Right on the front, it says, want to learn how to make seamless carousels, or something of that sort. It's that hook, that call to action that identifies with the people who really want to know what I'm about to talk about, and it's just designed to get them to stop the scroll and, of course, keep going. Then as you go across, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that it's really cool how it all blends together, and we're using very high quality images throughout. That's really going to be a key. Rachel is someone that I partner with on this, and we use images that have the 3D effect to them. Anything that has a 3D, like pop-like effect on Instagram, whether it's a seamless carousel or not, is always going to trend better. Having those multiple layers that pop off the screen really get people to stop the scroll, and it's just so pleasing to the eye to see, like, wow, it looks like it's bursting off the page. Right, that's why those freaking gift, or the cards that you get people that open up, and it's like a whole, I don't even know what to call them. They pop up, it's just got something that you open it up, and it's like a 3D greeting card. Are so cool, right? It's just adding that extra dimension to your content. So we have that throughout the seamless carousel, and the beginning is to do the hook, the body is to communicate whatever value you're trying to communicate, and then the last slide is going to be used for a call to action. Now, the reason why this is super valuable to do these is because whenever you get a new follower, they're naturally just going to scroll down your page and check out your content. And when you have all of these seamless carousels that have a call to action at the end, like for me, on that seamless carousel, the call to action is go listen to our podcast episode so that you can learn more. And that's probably my most common call to action for that particular business. It makes it so that my account, like, you can only have one link on Instagram, right? And we're not going to talk about Linktree right now. I do have another video where I talk about Linktree though, and why it's good and why it's bad. But overall, you get one link space on Instagram. But when you do it like this and you have your call to actions at the end, it allows you to essentially have not more links, but more invitations for people to click on somewhere or go to a website or do whatever. So if I've got a new follower that comes on my page and they're scrolling down, and then they see it in a seamless carousel on like exactly what they want to learn, and then they click on it, and then they scroll through, and then they see, oh wow, I can deep dive on this episode, and it's something that I posted like 5 months ago, but it's still on my page and they are a new follower and they scrolled through my stuff, then I'm still gonna have all of these chances for them to go find me elsewhere. And that's really the key to social media, is it rarely does the magic happen on social media. It's a traffic source to send them to our website and our funnels or our email opt-in lists and other things like that. But it just gives you a way to have this evergreen piece of content that is going to push people to whatever that you want them to do. So seamless carousels can be a big game changer for you guys no matter what industry you're in. I hope this was helpful for you. And again, if you want more info on this, go back and listen to episode 87 of Instagram Marketing Secrets, the interview with It's Rachel King, the queen of carousels. And Rachel King has also built an entire course on this. If you are listening at the time of this recording, it is on major discount right now. I'm not going to say the price because some of you are going to listen to this way in the future and I don't want to disappoint you. But I can tell you that whenever you're listening to this, the price is going to be as low as it ever will be now, because she's never going to go down on price. It's just only going to go up over time, especially as she adds more to it. This is a course that I've personally taken, as you can imagine, and she teaches you how to build seamless carousels in Canva as well as Photoshop and all of the design science behind it. I'm horrible at design naturally. Me as a kid, you give me crayons and a piece of paper, there's about 20 seconds that I'm gonna mess with it before I'm trying to do something else. I never cared about drawing. I have like no right side of my brain, and she lays it out to explain the art of design in terms of a science, and that made it for me to like rapidly level up the digital images that I was doing, not just on seamless carousels, but on my website, and all the thumbnails that go on YouTube, and everything was made so much easier from taking her course. And it's not like $1,000 course or even a $500 course. It's much less. So check it out if you want the step-by-step instructions, because some of you are great designers and just from the info that I gave you now, you can already run with it. Awesome. You don't need the course. But if you're ready to just like learn it and you want to learn it right away, and time is of the essence, which is really why you buy any kind of educational programming, is that you're like, yeah, I'm not saying that I can't learn it. I'm not saying that I can't self-teach myself. I just want to learn it quicker. It's the same way you would go to college. You're not going to be like, oh, well, there's chemistry books out there. I'll just buy all the chemistry books and read them all, right? You're going to go to school for it, and you're going to have the hands-on learning and a professor who's done it all before that can guide you through the process if the book isn't making sense at a certain point. It's the same thing with acquiring knowledge in the business space. And I just say this because in general, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I feel like I can be successful without the coach. And you are absolutely right. That's not the reason why you would buy a course or invest in coaching. It's because you want to get it down quicker. So if you want us to bridge that gap for you, Rachel's course, How to Create Seamless Carousels, or I can't remember what she calls it exactly, absolute game changer for me. Hope it is for you too. So check out the link in the bio, and it's great for social media managers too, who are looking to provide that extra level of service to their clients and in turn charge more because of it. So absolutely check it out if that's you. But the other thing too, I will say for anyone that is watching or listening to this recording at the time of April, we have 2 weeks left right now. Anyone who does invest in my IGM University program gets her course for free as well. So hopefully you catch this in April. If not, no worries. Neither of us are going anywhere, and I am here to help you no matter what. So thank you so much for listening, or if you were watching, and I will talk to you guys soon.